This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com.
Previously on TV Tuners.
It's time to, radicalize that pussy.
My God, Quibi's tomb is empty.
Swanson, quit counting those ballots.
These birds are the jerk of the year!
Listen here, Mac. You put two trucks together, they're gonna have sex.
Alright, I'm gonna bring my toughest nerds down to Philadelphia and we're gonna cause some trouble.
And now, TV Tuners continues.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's the television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive into the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and janitor who likes chess, Stairmaster.
Do not touch the horsey, child.
But
You are not ready to learn its moves.
but it looks nice.
No!
Also, I'm high as fuck right now for being a child.
Get out!
And with us, as always, of course, is our other co-host and nerdy teacher guy, Kyoran.
Hey, so, you wanna come down to the high school and, do some chess?
I heard you memorized all the squares.
You know all the squares on the chessboard, you know all the moves. You're gonna play all my boys all at once, come on down.
Just play
The
it.
black ones and the red ones.
You're gonna go down there, you're gonna break all my boys at chess. You're just gonna break them all simultaneously. A simultaneous boy break.
You're gonna reenact it, man.
Listen, Walter. You've gotta come down to the high school and break some boys.
The high school. I don't work there anymore, Mike.
Those teens are really up in their own heads. You gotta give them a reality check.
Show them what their life's gonna be like, Walter. Break
Show them
'em.
the Queen's Gambit, Walter.
Break their spirits with the Gambit.
Remember, Walter, when you're playing chess, there's no half measures.
Welcome to TV Tuners. We're here recording to you in the middle of tumultuous times.
Everything.
Yeah. There's apparently there's some sort of election going on, but the main reason the episode's been delayed is that Stairmaster had some law trouble that he went into.
There was a court battle. I'm being advised not to talk about it on any publicly media.
Oh, well, sorry, but we don't respect lawyers on this podcast.
We have a team of people who go down there and they attack the lawyers.
Yes, that's also why I lost this legal trial.
Oh, you've already lost, so why does it matter?
Yes, the judge threw it out after the mob tried to breach the barricades.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swanson, do you think Stairmaster lost in the first place because basically he spelled the thing wrong?
Well, yeah, so Stair, you were trying, correct me if I'm wrong here, you were trying to change your name legally from Stairmaster.
Yes, to Werther's Originals.
That's right. Which, it's good. It's a pretty good name. The problem was that there's no R in the filing that I'm looking at the paperwork you showed us, and it's Werther's Original.
Okay, I might have been a bit fucked up when I filled that out.
Oh, he's got that.
And when I got the idea to change it.
He got that mile high.
It's an election week, baby. We have our own coping mechanisms.
Okay, but the question here is, why did they challenge it if you spelled it wrong? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that is very interesting. I should have probably asked that, and my lawyer should have asked that as well.
Yeah.
I should mention my lawyer, of course, was the TV Tuners crab.
A perfect choice for a lawyer. About on par with Giuliani.
They pinched me several times while putting the tie on him.
I hate to tell you about the crab. Okay, first of all, the crab has never attended law school. That's the first thing you need to know about the crab.
But I asked it and it nodded.
Okay. I mean, the crab does lie.
Oh.
Alright, second thing is that the crab failed the state bar test.
Oh!
The Denver State Bar exam failed.
Wow.
How much? How many points did it get?
I think it got like 12.
Oh,
Out of?
it's like at least 100.
Oh.
Although I think they didn't count all the points. I say keep counting the points.
No, I think that we've counted enough points.
I think we need to stop the count.
You think they need to
I'm
stop the
willing to
count on
kill
the
to make
points?
that happen. Yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. If you like what you're hearing so far, why not consider subscribing? We're available on all of the podcast apps of your choice.
Wait, before you get to that, I have a Denver fact. Apparently, the Colorado. Sorry, I said Denver, but I meant Colorado.
The state of Denver.
The state of Denver. We're in Denver, Colorado. Okay, the state is Colorado. So you need actually at least 276 points out of 400 to pass the state bar exam there.
So some would say
a lot of laws.
Some would say that's an incredible failure then by the crab. But when you think about it, pretty admirable for a crab to make 12 points like that.
Yes. Especially considering it could not hold a pin without breaking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Stare, the crab can hold a pin, but not when agitated.
Well, all the lawyers were poking and prodding at it. That's pretty agitating.
You'd think they would know better.
Yeah. It's like they haven't seen a crab before. But yes, we're available on all the podcatchers of your choice, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. Anyone you can think about that we're there, we're waiting. Go ahead, give us a subscribe, maybe some 5 stars and a review on Apple. That'd be nice. We'd like that.
How many stars?
5.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's right. We don't want 4. We don't want 3. If you got 2 or 1, get them the fuck out of here. We want 5.
I want 60, so I can defeat Bowser once and for all.
Oh. Well, if that's an option on there, give them to us.
Or you could skip. Just go right
I'm not
to
good
Bowser.
enough.
Yeah, Stare isn't trained enough for that battle.
You need to jump on stairs and go into parallel worlds or whatever.
Yeah, and you can't have Lakitu. You can't meet Lakitu. You got to skip him as well.
We also have a Buy Me a Coffee page, if that's a thing you might be interested in.
There's multiple things you can gain from that.
That's
There's
right.
a free link to our Discord.
As well as any donations that you make, we'll give you you can give us a suggestion for a bonus episode on any topic, and we'll have that episode out for you.
Unless it's pornography.
Allegedly.
There may be some exceptions.
Yeah, maybe if you pay us enough, we'll watch. So that's at buymeacoffee.com/TV Tuners. You can go there, check our free link to the Discord, or just browse around, take a peek, see what's going on over there. Count the coffees.
I think we're at 9.
Don't tell them.
Yeah. Pick some coffees up, put some coffees down, look at the coffees.
Yeah, determine the eligibility of the coffee. Yeah, and of course, as always, we are available on Twitter. If you have any comments that you want to make to us directly, we're available at TV Tuners. Or you can just follow us for great TV content. Just
That would be insane.
tons of TV stuff going on there. Nothing political at all happening in the TV Tuners Twitter feed.
It's all Bionicle tweets.
That's right. All of our tweets are actually just retweets from Bionicle Army on Twitter. But that's at TV Tuners, or use the hashtag TV Tuners, and we'll give a glance. But if you want like a personal connection, perhaps something that we can read aloud on the pod, send us an email. We're available for emails if you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, or otherwise. Send them to us at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Kyorain?
It's something like television, whatever, at Yahoo, something.
That's right. And
Correct.
with all of that out of the way, how about our tweet of the week this week, Star?
All right, and this tweet of the week comes from user Deacon Blue, wave emoji, at Curtis4230,
Oh.
who asked, Gary, have you seen The Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
Okay, so this one needs some additional context, Stairmaster. This person is responding...
To Gary Kasparov,
Yes.
who tweeted, Trump is more likely to go back to Russia than never-Trumpers like Max and me.
Which is in itself a quote tweet from Max Boot, who is talking about...
Who asked in what universe is it an insult to be compared to Teddy Roosevelt and Nelson Rockefeller?
Yes.
Which is, in its way, its own quote tweet, because he posted a screenshot of an email titled Fake Republican
That's right.
from Jay Onally.
I guess Nelson Rockefeller was considered extremely progressive for that time, huh? That's pretty sad.
You are about as Republican as other rhino like Teddy Roosevelt and Nelson Rockefeller. Why not be honest and admit you have been brainwashed or otherwise compromised by the commies at the Washington Post, yeah. You probably need the job and have swallowed the leftist lies and hatred. Republicans.
What?
Oh, boy.
Is that intentional?
It must be strange to be negatively referred to as arguably one of the top 5 presidents of all time. And then also a guy who was briefly vice president, I guess.
And being recalled to Republican, the number 8 in the middle of Republican.
Republicans.
Like you are really commie subversives.
What do you...
Go back to Russia where space, your kind should be.
Interesting.
Hope you get a fatal dose of COVID. You worthless piece. You worthless piece of liberal subhuman garbage. Wow.
So there's a lot to unpack here, mainly because there's a lot of stuff going on
like
here.
Inception.
Yeah. But to sort of to wake ourselves up all the way back to the original tweet, I do love that all of this is just preamble to this person being like, hey, you seen Queen's Gambit or what?
Also, I want to say Deacon Blue, the person asking this, their Twitter profile states they're a proud member of the Resistance.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the Resistance, Deacon Blue.
Also, they got a weird, clip art of the planet Saturn as their profile pic.
Yeah, this person
Why is it weird?
slaps.
I guess it's just strange to have a planet as your profile pic.
I think this means they're old, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Saturn is old.
Ooh, they're as old as Saturn? You think?
Maybe.
Saturn's one of the oldest planets there is.
I'm going to give this a tune in because it's just fun comedy right there.
Oh, it's a great saga.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
but what's the relation between this content and Queen's Gambit? Is it because Queen's Gambit's going to feature Russia at some point?
well, chess as well, I imagine.
Gary Kasparov is like the king of chess.
Well, sure, I know that part, but
Yeah, that's probably both, right?
yeah.
Because it does open with her. Well, I guess she's not in Russia. Spoilers.
She's in Paris.
Yeah, she's in
which
Paris.
is like
but
Russia.
Ideally, if you're going to become a chess master, you're going to have to face some Russians.
They like chess over there because it's so cold.
Yeah.
Did you know that back in the 19th century and earlier, the Russian court nobles used to speak French instead of Russian?
Ooh.
Because it was seen as more civilized.
No, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I exclusively speak Canadian. Eh?
You mean
Yeah.
the country that's half colonized by France?
Eh.
Hey.
Hey, whoa, we don't talk about that, eh? Now, why don't you settle down and we go get some Timmy Hortons? Don't be a hoser, that thing we never actually say.
That's actually Americans who say that.
So yeah, thanks for that tweet. I don't know what these two losers are doing it, but I'm tuning in on that.
Oh yeah, I'm tuning in.
I'm tuning in on too. It's like the Beowulf of modern age.
Do you think they'll teach that in schools in like the year 3000?
I feel like this is a teachable moment for sure.
Like they'll show this exact screenshot's going to be in the textbook.
Yeah. Of like,
Well, I mean, it kind of does explain the 21st century.
yeah, it's true in a weird way. All right, well, with the tweet of the week out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the rabble, huh?
Yes,
we're just-
because we title our episodes after the show we watch. People might expect us to just talk about the show and nothing else.
It's a fool's errand to expect such a thing.
We have this segment as a consolation prize.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right, so
the rabble is a segment here where we go in, we look at some stuff, we pick some stuff up, put some stuff down. We look at mainly IMDb reviews and, of course, some critics' reviews and see what they have to say before we give our official TV Tuners take later in the show.
All people not as smart as us.
It's true. So, Keo, it seems like you want to start us off?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. So, just, are you guys sitting down?
This is sort of like show and tell.
Stare,
Back
like,
when we were in kindergarten.
you're kind of hovering over your chair a little bit there. It needs you to, like, fully be sitting.
Yeah, Stare, I don't know why you insist on recording standing up, but please sit down.
All right, hold on. Let me take a sip of my water while I listen to this.
All right, this is a 1 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's a negative review, and the title of this review is not based on a true story. Okay.
Interesting.
Listen, I loved this series and would have given it a 9 out of 10. I waited until I finished it before researching the details of the true story. Behold my shock when I found it wasn't based on a true story at all. I felt cheated. What exactly is the point of inventing a female American child prodigy that took on the best in Russia in the 60s and beat them all? It was a great story, well told, well acted, etc., but it not being based on a true story completely defeats the heart of the series.
Interesting. Okay.
Not everything has to be based on Trey story, obviously.
On what?
I don't think this
Hold on, how is that spelled?
Trey with a capital T. But I don't think this kind of thing should be purely fictional. As like Isaiah's, it defeats the purpose of what it's trying to promote. Absolutely ridiculous and gutted that Harmon never existed.
Oh.
8 out of 83 found this helpful.
Wow.
Oh, I feel sorry for this guy.
Oh, I forgot to say their username. Their username is Dybae, but Dybae.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, this is based off a novel.
Yes.
Which covers, like, themes and shit.
As most novels do, usually, yeah.
Either that or they're about fucking.
Which is a theme,
That's a theme.
in and of itself.
Yeah, you can call that a theme. What would you call it?
Spectacle.
Alright, sure. Good enough. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know what to make of this one.
I mean, it doesn't even say it's based on a true story at any point.
No, it's not like
It doesn't.
It's not like former episode of the show Fargo, where it lies to you and says it's a true story.
Yeah, this just doesn't. It's just, yeah, it's a fictional.
Did they think because it was chess and it was set in like the 80s, I think, that it's, I guess, 60s?
She assumed, because it's a period piece, it must be historical.
It's a period piece about a traditionally dull subject matter, so it's considered.
Yes, it must be real.
Yeah, yeah. That's
No, it turns out chess really boring in real life.
yeah. Interesting. That's a good one there. So I have an interesting bit here on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
Normally I find us a positive and a rotten review, a fresh and rotten one. But all of the reviews, especially by top critics, are fresh.
Certified fresh?
Certified fresh for Queen's Gambit. It has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Interesting.
Wow.
I guess this is the greatest show that has ever been made.
Yeah, I guess it's truly, there's no equal to this show. So instead what I have is a review that's pretty glowing, and then the closest thing I could find to a negative review through my glances on the Rotten Tomatoes page. So I'll start with the glowing one here. It's by Allison Shoemaker at RogerEbert.com. Anchored by a magnetic lead performance and bolstered by world-class acting, marvelous visual language, a teleplay that's never less than gripping, and an admirable willingness to embrace contradiction and ambiguity, it's one of the year's best series. She gave this 3.5 stars out of 4.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, all right, good stuff. So then this is the closest thing I could find to a negative review. It's from CJ Johnson at Film Mafia.
Oh,
those guys don't mess around with their reviews,
Yeah.
Swanson.
Put on your best Boston accent or New Jersey accent.
Hey, whoa. Hey, it's unsubtle, obvious, on the nose, but it's also compelling. Taylor-Joy is endlessly watchable, and the cast is really fun. Every character has a fascinating face. And then there's the chess. Treated seriously, with integrity, with respect. 3.5 out of 5 was the review for that.
You almost veered into Bernie Sanders for a second, but you pulled it off.
Treated seriously, with integrity, with respect.
I was waiting for the veiled threat to come along, but there wasn't one.
No. So yeah, the closest thing to negative is that it's a little unsubtle.
True.
Imagine that little blurb ended with, "It would be a shame if something happened to it."
It would be a shame if something happened to this show. Hey,
All right.
hey, you don't want this show to sleep with the fishes, do you?
All right. I have a neutral review. There's no rating given.
Oh.
From IMDb user, My Other Pet is Dog,
Okay.
Okay.
whose review is titled Episode 1.
Okay.
Interesting.
What else?
I had only watched the very first 6 minutes and 4 seconds. First impressions, poor acting by all who managed to appear in the first 6 minutes, 4 seconds. Unrealistic scenes start at 3:33 and culminate for me at 6:04, with cursing and all characters acting unnaturally. Even weird, even for an orphanage. So all past these series. I have zero tolerance for bad acting. Not sure why so many has rated it so high. I did rate Rita high, if you want to compare. Why would actors live in their roles in Rita and fake their characters in this series is beyond me. 0 out of 17 found this review helpful.
Because they're different actors, I guess. That'd be a good key. Maybe there's a different, like, sort of direction and writing going on with this show.
I don't even remember what happened in the first 6 minutes.
She was like, "Oh, I'm late. Oh, I gotta get out of here. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm late."
Yeah, I was still coping with Election Day when I watched this.
Oh, yeah. That's something we're going to have to talk about in depth because until, like, the second half of this episode, I was not paying as much attention as I should have been, probably.
You were just checking to see what was going on in Pennsylvania.
Georgia, actually, at the time I was watching this, but yes.
Swanson would stuff in those boxes full of ballots.
That's right. I was going in there. I was just taking a bunch of ballots straight from George Soros and throwing them into the box.
Yeah, you ever see those guys just show up with the duffel bags full of ballots? Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of those guys. I've been taking flights from Denver to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and just going in there, dumping some ballots into some boxes, and being like, "Here you go. I'll take my check now, please."
Yeah, and you know that George Soros is actually at the place where they count them, and he's like, he'll just randomly reach in and grab a Trump vote and throw it away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why Trump wanted to get in there and look at the ballots.
He's like the Roman emperor giving them a thumbs up or thumbs down.
That's why Trump wanted to get in there. He knew Soros was in there, and he wanted to go see it for himself.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna have like a fight at the steel mill.
I challenge George Soros to a duel. It's a real thing, people. I've seen Hamilton.
Oh, that's like a 2016 Trump move. If he had done that, he would have won the election handily.
That's true, yeah. So, yes.
He challenges Biden to a duel. Biden declines and he shoots him in the back of the head while he's walking away.
And faces no repercussions.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to charge him? He's the president.
I guess it's true. So yes, that's the rabble. Stay tuned later in the show. We'll give our official analysis on Queen's Gambit. For now, though, let's go ahead and move on to what we watched this week. Anything fun, interesting?
No.
I watched the election.
Oh.
Well,
yeah?
Yeah, I watched the election, and I smoked enough weed to deal with that I can't remember what I did last week leading up to this episode.
Oh. Yeah.
I think I recorded something for party night.
You definitely did a stream where you were pretty greened out by the end.
Yes. Yeah, Al's working on the greatest hits compilation right now. That might be out by the time we're done recording. Who knows?
I did watch that, and it was fun until a certain point where it was no longer fun because it was anxiety-inducing.
Oh, yeah, because the part where it was just like, Donald Trump is going to be president.
Yeah, where you were like, look at that popular vote margin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that night I was like, I knew there was a good chance that we would take the Rust Belt states or whatever because blah blah blah. They told us a million times about the mail-in votes, but it's just like still really depressing that he still took Florida and all that stuff.
Yeah, pretty depressing stuff. I watched Saturday Night Live starring people.
Ooh.
I watched
Was it
this.
funny?
It was okay. I watched this mainly because John Mulaney's on, and if John Mulaney's on, I watch Saturday Night Live. That's the only time. It's actually false because I'm probably going to watch next week just because Dave Chappelle's there. But it was interesting. Jim Carrey has already gotten old as Joe Biden, so that's fun. Glad that we potentially get more of that for the next 4 years. Yeah, it was whatever. It's really weird to see them. This is a pre-election SNL, the one right before the election, and a lot of it was just them being like, "Listen, guys, you gotta vote Donald Trump out of office,
Please, we gotta get the vote out.
It just
rock the vote, 2004."
It's weird how they seem to be doubling down on a president who they sort of helped give a platform to.
Oh yes, I feel like half of Trump's mistake comes from SNL alone, doing bad impressions of him.
Well, also he was there hosting in 2016.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
He danced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Biden can dance. He wouldn't even be able to do the High Hopes dance, probably.
In a move that I think is probably going to be the closest thing to the lowest low of SNL if it weren't for that time in 1980 when the show almost got canceled.
Or that time they had Steven Seagal as host and he wanted to do jokes about women being raped.
Oh, yeah.
In a Central segment.
But
or wasn't a woman too ugly to be raped? I don't remember.
Neither do I, but that sounds terrible.
That's pretty bad.
Sounds like Steven Seagal to me. So yeah, I it was okay. Mulaney's fun. The funniest sketch of the night actually had very little to do with Mulaney. Instead featured all of the black actors and actresses on SNL as they became sort of a R&B troupe singing a catchy little song about strolling to the polls. But then each time they went to a polling place, Mulaney would come out as a white guy and say, "Sorry, polls closed." So they would have to go and stroll to the next polling place in their location, only to be defeated each time. And at the end of the sketch, they finally get to the polling place, and there's like armed civilians like hanging out around the polling place, just watching.
Paramilitaries.
Yeah. So it was like sort of the closest thing to salient political commentary that SNL's had.
Who was it like last week who said nothing would change under Biden?
That was John Mulaney. Everyone.
Oh, they had him on again?
No, he did the monologue. That was this week. This week's episode of the show, and he did the monologue and said that nothing would change either way.
Mm-hmm. My perception of time is very skewed right now.
Which is a strange. It's a strange. The takeaway to that being both sides is strange because he does also double down on Trump being a Nazi later in that same monologue. So, also, two things can also be true at the same time: that maybe Trump should not be in office, but also that not much would change either way.
I mean, things will probably change under Trump. Just become a bit more fascist, probably.
Yeah. But like, it's missing. It's purposely missing the point of what Melania is saying, which is that like structurally, nothing is going to change very much, if at all. Anyway, yeah, it was an alright show. I'm interested to see if what Dave Chappelle does this time. Last year he did the last election he did the post-election show where Trump was pretty much already the winner, and he was just like, "Dang, America's racist. Who knew? Me."
Maybe he'll call for armed revolution. That'd be cool.
Yeah. He's rich though, so probably not.
Yeah, maybe he'll just go back to Africa, where he spent several years of his life.
I'm glad you clarified on what you meant by that real quick.
Yeah. Why did he do that anyways? He just got tired of comedy? He got tired of people
because
yelling at Rick James at him?
Well, because most of the people who watched the Chappelle show and thought it was super funny were missing the point of what he was saying.
Oh, okay, that's fair. So he's sort of like a Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's arc is sort of Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi, so let's hope he doesn't become Luke Skywalker in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
Other than that, I watched the first 2 episodes of the last series of Poirot. Agatha Christie's Poirot, to be exact.
What's that?
Wait, like the final series?
That's right. It was made in 2010, so it's been a while, but I got around to watching it. I watched the last 2 episodes. It's a 5-episode series, so I got 3 more to go. But these first 2, woof, they were not good.
Oh, so you brought this show up previously on previous episodes, right?
That's right, yeah.
This is the one that's been going on for a while?
Yeah. At this point, they're done. They have like the last bits of material left to scrape from this, so I'm told that the last 3 episodes are really good, but these first 2 were kind of clunkers for various reasons. The first one's okay, but it has like a real disjointed feeling to it because it's an adaptation of the last Poirot novel written by Agatha Christie when she was 80 years old. And it is the novel has been described as a mess. Like, details get, like, fudged in between, like, chapters where she can't seem to remember who's who.
Oh, that's how aging works. Your brain just shuts down at
But it was also because...
age 55.
Yeah. It's also because Agatha Christie is so popular at that point that she didn't have an editor, so they just let her publish... They just let her publish this novel that has, like, a bunch of errors in it. So the writers for the show have to try and adapt this thing that's, like, a jumbled mess. And it doesn't really work out. The second one is, like, I think considered one of her, like, least revered Poirot novels. For anyone who isn't aware, or maybe Keo, this is Hercule Poirot, famous detective of Agatha Christie's. He's going around solving cases and most of these things. He's like a Sherlock Holmes-esque figure, only he's Belgian.
Oh, now I'm vaguely remembering this.
Yes. It's like Mr. Brain.
The show started in the 80s and then kept sort of going through various series until this final one in 2010. But this second episode is the most baffling thing. First off, to clue you in on why it might be baffling, it was written by co-creator of Sherlock. So it feels a lot like that show and less like this sort of old 80s show that Poirot is and still was at this time. It feels like a more modern detective story, maybe. But also, the story involves Poirot solving, like, taking down an international, like, conspiracy. Like, normally he just solves, like, someone murdered someone and he's figuring out who.
Instead, this time, someone murdered JFK.
Yes, like, there's an international conspiracy that he's attempting to solve, and it's just, like, so wild that this, like, first off, elderly detective is, like, solving this is taking down this criminal conspiracy cult. Like, it's a little baffling. Also, he has to fake his death.
It's like, I bet Columbo could have done it.
Hey, just one more,
Like
just one
Metal
more
Gear-
question about your cult. Hey, one more question.
Metal Gear Solid 4, except it's Columbo instead of Solid Snake.
Yeah.
So you're saying like he's doing like some hardcore espionage?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like
But he's also got a walking stick.
mild spoilers if you want to go and watch this episode. I don't recommend it. It's like the worst Poirot I've ever seen. But it also all gets revealed to be one guy who's behind this, even though the name of
Yes,
the
Ice and Sosuke.
that's right. No, it's this failed actor who makes up this criminal conspiracy that the newspapers treat as real, all because he has one
so
friend.
it's like The Wire.
Sort of. All because he has one friend in the newspapers who take up this big conspiracy as real. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, even if you like think about it for a little bit. And it ends with all of Poirot's friends being like, that was pretty shitty when you faked your own death, but I guess we understand.
So it's like Evangelion. Everyone's congratulating him.
That's right. They say, congratulations,
Everyone comes
Poirot.
I
Anyway,
assume by what friend you mean everyone who's literally ever been on the show came back to say that to him.
there were a lot of returning stars for this one, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so stay tuned for my take on the last 3 episodes of Poirot in a few weeks, probably. So, let's go ahead and move on to the news then, huh? All right. Well, let's distract ourselves from the actual news and focus on some TV news.
Yeah, fake news.
Yeah. Ice-T, notorious Law and Orderer,
And famous Twitter poster.
that's right, is becoming a sort of version of a TV judge.
Expand on that.
I say sort of because he'll actually be a mediator, which is not technically a judge, but can still settle legal disputes. And he'll be doing this on his new show, aptly titled "The Mediator" with Ice-T.
So you're telling me he signed a contract to pay off this debt and he didn't do it?
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna have to pay off that debt.
You're saying you telling me he borrowed your lawnmower and did not give it back? And then called you a slur?
You're telling me this guy gets off on hearing arguments from 2 opposite sides and then renders judgment? Yeah, Ice-T will play, of course, the mediator, who will settle various disputes between 2 parties with the help of experts and potentially some actual judges.
Potentially.
Yes. The Mediator is going to be a weekday series like all of those other judge shows that you see when you're in waiting rooms. It's going to be set to run in March 2021 for a limited time on Fox stations.
Alright, so what angle do you think you guys going to actually go with? Is it going to be like a Judge Judy where he's like rude, or I think it's going to be like a friendly?
I think he's going to do a callback to his famous film, Surviving the Game, and he's going to make the plaintiffs
Fight?
go into the woods, yeah, and be hunted by
plaintiffs?
him for human sports. The plaintiffs and defendants.
Okay.
Interesting.
Is that,
Maybe
is that,
Gary Busey will be there too.
is that considered mediation?
It's called conflict resolution.
I guess it's making a new conflict, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, before creation must come destruction, Kyo. That's a cycle of the universe. Dragon Ball Z has taught me this.
Okay, but does the person who's actually in the right get like an advantage in this, or are they just on equal footing here?
The person who's in the right gets a sword.
Oh. Well, I like the sound of that.
But they are placed like 500 yards apart in the woods at night.
I don't
So
like
it's
the
still
sound
going to
of
give
that.
you a pretty good edge.
Yeah. The pun intended there.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's places like the abandoned mine shaft where you can get loot.
Interesting. Yeah, basically, someone explained how this is going to go down in a press release here. So, he's gonna hear the disputes between the 2 parties. He's gonna hear arguments and evidence, and then he's going to make an unbiased and respected third-party decision.
Wow, why don't we just put him in charge of our government?
So he decides who lives and dies, basically.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be calling for executions on anybody in this show, but that would be funny.
Yeah. You would laugh at that?
Yeah, he'd be like, all right, man, listen. You're getting killed. That's my decision. You gotta die.
Imagine we like forget about the show and then we hear like a year later that Ice-T's been arrested on murder charges.
It's not murder if he's part of the legal system.
True. It's all stemming from an episode of The Mediator with Ice-T, where he murdered a man on screen.
No, he was doing it for weeks before they finally arrested him.
Oh, he's just been... Yeah. I want a show like that, where it's not The Mediator, it's judge, jury, and executioner.
Yes, that should have been on Quibi.
Yeah.
You could have made 10-minute bites out of that.
We should do a podcast where that's us. I'm the judge. Stairmaster's the jury. Swanson's the executioner.
I've been waiting for this role my whole life.
I guess we have a different guest on each week to kill.
That's right.
Well, they always die at the end?
Well, I guess it's up to the executioner, isn't it?
Swanson doesn't have to kill him. He can just threaten him throughout the episode.
Yeah.
That sounds weak. We gotta make sure Swanson's involved. Otherwise, there's no point to having 3 people on the pod.
Good point. Yeah. So yeah, everyone look forward to episodes of The Mediator with Ice-T coming to you March, which seems like a distant memory.
That seems impossible. We will not live that long.
Yeah. Speaking of things that didn't live long but are being brought back, sure. Tiny Toons. That's right. Not wanting to be outdone by Hulu's Animaniacs revival, HBO Max has teamed up with its partner Cartoon Network to announce that today they are bringing back Tiny Toons.
And it's pretty much happened simultaneously, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, Animaniacs was in production, I guess. So this is like the announcement that they're doing this. So I guess they were just like, we can't be the only game in town.
Yeah, I remember watching Tiny Toons as, a lad.
Yes.
And my only impression of that show was that it was unusual. It was a strange...
It was a little annoying.
It was annoying.
Also, how does Hulu have rights to Tiny Toons? Shouldn't HBO Max have rights to Tiny Toons since that's part of the...
You mean Animaniacs? Animaniacs is the
HBO
one on
Max
Hulu.
Wait, so Hulu has both... Who has Tiny Toons then?
HBO Max.
But aren't they both Warner Brothers?
Yeah, I don't know how this deal happened exactly. I think it might have happened before they had the plans for HBO Max, maybe.
Does all work?
Intellectual property is just a joke nowadays, really.
It's true. It's just like 3 companies ping-ponging things to different services.
None of this is real.
Titled Tiny Toons Luniversity, which, if you remember from the classic intro, is the place where they go to get the degree in cartooning.
Yeah, because they're crazy.
The Toons, the Tiny Toon gang are back. Babs, Buster, the other ones.
Keaton.
That's right.
Hold on, how tiny were the Tiny Toons?
Slightly tinier than the Looney Tunes, but not as tiny
what
as you
age
would
were
think.
they?
Oh, they were all supposed to be like kids, I think.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about Tiny Toons. It's been so long.
I remember that some of the it was weird because most of the Tiny Toons were just sort of cut and paste versions of the actual Looney Tunes, and then some were just like new creations altogether. Like there was a rich kid.
That's what Looney Tunes needs, more class politics.
Yeah, there was like a little girl who like hugged people too much or something. I don't remember what her deal was.
Yeah, they all hated her because she was like, first of all, extremely annoying, but also she did not respect your boundaries at all.
Yeah,
that sounds like an excellent show to reboot. Lots of characters and extremely memorable characters.
Yeah,
lots of nuance.
Well, what if I told you this wasn't the only show that HBO Max and Cartoon Network were getting into bed with? That's right. They're bringing back Jendy Tarkovsky for a new show he's working on called Unicorn Warriors Eternal.
Is it about a unicorn?
No. Well, I think it's about a bunch of heroes who use unicorn armor or something. I don't know. It's pretty vague, but
it's a sequel to Unicorn Gundam.
Yes, that's right. It's pretty vague, but apparently it's going to be like a big action series by him. So
it has nothing to do with the film The Last Unicorn.
No, I'm pretty sure it has zero to do with that.
Sad.
But as for Tiny Toons, it's Warner Brothers seems pretty into this by giving it a 2-season order. So we're guaranteed at least 2 seasons of that. Ironically, that's also the order that Animaniacs got, so I'm pretty sure this is just them competing with themselves.
We were all begging for this. We were all wanting this.
Yeah.
We're in the belly of a dying beast, and also the dying beast is eating its own tail.
Yeah.
And the blood from the tail is drowning us.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
Bleak.
Not a great deal going on there. It's not looking great over in Tiny Toons land.
Yeah, tune out on the media.
Tiny Toons out. Is that anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for the news. So let's
thank God.
Let's head over to a quick break, and we'll be back with a funeral for a friend. Hey, you guys love winning?
Yes. And do you know what season it is right now?
Autumn? Election?
Oh, it is election season, but election season can also mean winning season, Stare.
Oh!
Because a candidate wins.
Ooh.
And
do you know which candidate's winning this year?
As of right now, Joseph Biden.
Yes. Are you sure about that?
He has more electoral votes, and that's how our fucked up system works. Well, what I was going to say is that, of course, winning season is here, and only at MyBookie.
Oh.
Now, you might ask yourself, Stare, what does it mean?
What is MyBookie?
Well, MyBookie is you place your bets and you win big. But winning season, Stare, it means doubling your first deposit. It means Survivor.
Oh, so you mean they just give me money?
Well, it means you doubled the money that you made, yes. It means Survivor, Super Contests, and Squares.
Oh, you mean like the reality TV show Survivor?
That's right. You play Survivor with some MyBookie's contestants.
And the one who's last standing gets 100,000 in guaranteed winnings.
That's right. It's time to celebrate the NFL season at MyBookie. That's right. The NFL is still going on.
Is it?
That's right. It's still going on.
Are they slamming each other around and throwing balls everywhere?
Yeah, they're picking balls up, putting balls down. And you can sign up now, and you make your first deposit at MyBookie. You get a $1 for dollar match, all the way up to $1,000. You know what else you can do, Stare?
What?
You can grab yourself a free entry into the MyBookie Super Contest. It's famed, Staremaster, famed.
Oh, I love. What makes it super?
Well, you get this. You know how a regular contest goes?
No.
Okay, well, get this. So you play in the contest. All you have to do is you pick 5 NFL games against the spread, and you can win a chance at $100,000 guaranteed in cash prizes.
Oh, so I just have to do what Adam Sandler does at the end of Uncut Gems.
Yes, that's right.
Except most likely without the part where spoilers.
Or spoilers happen.
Yeah, where spoilers.
Well, that's probably going to happen to me regardless.
Yeah, so what's the worst that could happen? You go to MyBookie, and of course, the best part about this, Staremaster, is that MyBookie has tons of bets to choose from. You got the NFL slate, you got playoffs, you got live betting, championship futures. Every play you could want to make is waiting at MyBookie.
Ooh, can I bet on whether the sun will rise in the morning?
I mean, the odds are probably pretty good of that happening, so you're not going to get much return on that.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if the sun doesn't rise?
You're going to be the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Right before we all die.
And I think technically, because the election hasn't been called yet, you can bet on that.
My kingdom of darkness begins.
Only
I'm
at
looking
MyBookie.
the MyBookie page here, and it's not giving us odds anymore on Trump versus Biden.
Oh, interesting.
I don't see him.
Well, if you want to go make your bets, you can use promo code TVTuners and double your first deposit at MyBookie. It's simple, everybody. You make your picks, you win big, you collect your cash. Your winning season can begin today.
Watch the movie Uncut Gems to get really excited for gambling as well.
That's right. So go to MyBookie, only at MyBookie. Promo code TVTuners. Use it today.
Gambling, it's all that's left in our dying world.
Good ads. All right. Well,
Sure, why not?
with all of that done, it's time for us to bid adieu to a friend, a loved one, a treasured
Sean
member,
Connery.
a treasured member of our TV Tuners family. It's
John
Quibi.
Quibi!
It's
Wait, what do you mean bidded you to Quibi? I'm pretty sure Quibi's still up and running.
well, you remember us talking about it failing, Keo, right? And it died. It's done for.
No, it's still going to be up and running till December. So
Shut up.
Well,
I'm gonna
listen.
be watching.
It's on life support.
We've given it a terminal diagnosis, and it's done now.
Look, I'm going to be watching Murder House Flip, and the final episode is going to be the house that Quibi died in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So the White House.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that Quibi and Donald Trump are potentially both leaving at around the same times? Something to think
I would
about.
say Donald Trump has accomplished a lot more than Quibi.
Well, he's been around longer, that's for sure.
Even though his entire sort of media presence is these quick bites.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine-
Just look up while you're commuting.
Imagine he leaves the White House for the last time, and he's wearing a Quibi pin, and he has like a mysterious man next to him who was later identified as Q.
Oh,
Interesting.
I trust the plan.
Well, listen,
Indictments are coming.
we're here tonight to lay Quibi to rest, to give our final thoughts and feelings on this beautiful, beloved streaming service that definitely was not a terrible idea.
That took like 6 months to get portability on your TV.
Yeah, which was ironically the time it died. That's right. Quibi is here, and it's now going away. Let us remember all the good parts of Quibi, like hashtag free Ray Sean, which is the only thing that gave Quibi any notoriety when it won 2 Emmy Awards.
Did they ever free Ray Sean?
Let me see. They might have. I'm gonna go with no, though.
Oh, that's how it is on this bitch of an earth.
Who could forget our classic episode on The Fugitive? Still potentially the worst show of the year.
I don't know about that. We did watch a lot of shows.
Well, that's why I said potentially. The total hasn't been counted yet, sir.
Yes.
Look,
Nevada is still counting.
we
TV
made
show
fun
we've watched.
of that show having that line that said, "This is just like 9/11," but people are going to be saying that a lot.
Yeah. You know what? Good show.
Yeah. And listen, there's a lot of things that people have said about Quibi, people have thought about Quibi, but at the end of the day, we'll all remember Quibi as this big burst of energy.
Whose life itself, we will remember it as it lived in one quick bite.
That's right.
And then nothing.
Quibi came into this world and it exited this world so quick that it would be hard to forget. It'd be almost easy to forget that it raised $100 billion, or not 100, $1 billion,
$100 billion.
$1 billion in funding from major Hollywood studios, and immediately squandered it all on celebrities who brought nothing to their product. It'd be easy to.
I remember.
Yeah.
I'm reminiscing right now about when I first heard about Quibi. I was in my easy chair, just, thumbing through the latest news, and I saw the information about Quibi, and I said, that sounds like one of the dumbest, most least likely to succeed ideas I've ever heard. This is really stupid, and here we are today. It's dead.
It's true.
I remember sitting in my difficult chair, hearing about it, being like, "Oh man, we're going to be talking about this for the next 8 months."
I remember hearing about the plans for Quibi and saying, "That's such a dumb idea. It'll never work." And it turns out at the end I was correct in that matter. But let's talk about the joy that Quibi brought into our lives. It certainly helped us get some quality podcast material.
Like saying, "It's Quibi!"
Yeah, of course.
Quibi!
It's Quibi!
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We did get some some joys. Now, I do have here a letter sent in to us from a man named Jordan Gardner, who he has this to say. A Quibi's insider's last words. I was one of the very few that understood what Quibi was about. I sided with it since its reveal at CES, and I stuck with it after signing up for the free trial on April 17th, 2020. I enjoyed a lot of shows on there, and enjoyed their usage of that turnstile format. Because of the short durations and the usage of said format, Quibi was undoubtedly the most unique streaming service I've ever used throughout the year. And it's such a shame that it has come out at a worst possible time with very little recognition, and yet gained so much scrutiny for its concept. Had they tweaked their focus a bit and delayed it by a year, it would have undoubtedly been the underdog hit in this increasingly overcrowded streaming market. All I can hope now is that someone would actually save all the content and the main gimmick that made it so unique from being lost to time. In all complete seriousness, I'm really going to miss Quibi more than anything. And I'll always be one to defend it from everyone else who gives it flack for basically not being another YouTube or Vine or TikTok. It's true. Quibi could have been at least two of those things. And now it is just one of those things. Fine, because it's dead.
Yeah. Well, it's been a short, I don't know, you can call it long or short journey with Quibi, but
Been a quick bite.
It's been a quick little bite here, but we've had so many experiences with Quibi.
Yeah.
Name them.
Well, we found out the name was Quibi because it stands for Quick Bites, and we laughed about that for a little bit. That was fun.
We also had Connie on, and Connie was like evil.
Oh yeah, they were like a shill for Quibi.
Yeah, there's like a mushroom in their brain.
Yeah, and now
something.
And now they've been executed by the Quibi squad. Yeah, it's
I had a Google Glass on, and I was like also inducted.
You can fire optic blasts from them.
Yeah, so a lot happened with Quibi.
Yeah, but now it's time for us to bid farewell to Quibi and hope that all of its executives can get positions in the Biden administration.
Every last one of them.
Yep.
Including Gal Gadot, new White House Secretary of Fitness.
Oh boy. So before we lay Quibi to rest here, do you guys have any final parting words that you want to give? I'll give you guys time alone with the casket to say your words to it. Stare, you go first.
I'm glad you're dead, old man. I thought I was supposed to be alone.
Yeah, Keo, back up a little bit. Keo, this is Stare's personal time with Quibi in his closed casket.
Okay.
From your ashes shall rise my streaming service, Stareby. It stands for Stare Bites. It's just 10 minutes footage of me living my life. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Swanson, I'm sorry, but I did eavesdrop on Stairmaster, and ooh. All right. So, am I up next, Swanson?
Yeah, go ahead, Keo.
All right. This time, you guys need to really give me privacy on this one.
Sure, I'll look away.
All right. Okay. Oh God! Quibi. Quibi.
Oh my God! Look at this loser, Swanson. Can you believe this?
I can't believe he's quiet. He's crying.
Quibi. I'm gonna miss the format of your shows. What?
Or
What?
like Sabi, am I right?
More like Cryby.
What? Why? Why did they take you away?
Cryby stands for crybaby.
I thought it stood for Crying Bites.
I loved how I can only use you on my phone. I wanted something that's only on my phone. I don't want it on the computer. I don't want it on my TV. I want it on my phone. I wanted it.
All right, Keo, I'm sorry, but I think
Okay.
you need to compose
You're
yourself.
Yeah, you're upsetting the spirits.
Oh, okay. Anyway, bury this piece of trash, fellas.
Yeah, well, let me
Yeah.
take a look here. Quibi, it was fun while it lasted. From the moment when you hit number 3 in the App Store on your launch day, to when it was announced that you had saw 30,000 downloads, or 300,000 downloads. I thought we would have more time to get to know each other, for me to make fun of you, for you to sort of just sit there and take it, because you were, in fact, a streaming service. But it seems, once again, COVID has taken something dear from us, and disrupted our daily routines. And this time, there's just not enough time in the day for my commute to sit around and watch 10-minute bites of a television show that should be longer. Maybe in the future, Quibi, you can come back stronger than ever. But for now, I'm gonna have to lay you to rest.
Amazing Grace.
Keel, why'd you let Stairmaster be the guy singing at the...
In the arms of the
Oh, we all... Okay.
Jesus, take the wheel. Wait.
That's right. No. Farewell, Quibi. We're singing you off with quick bites of sad songs.
All around me are familiar places, worn out places.
Goodbye, Quibi. I want to Wang Chung tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
I don't think that's sad.
I'm doing sort of a...
Everybody had fun tonight.
I tried so
Wang
hard,
Chung tonight.
got so far, but in the end, doesn't even matter.
And there it is.
Wah!
And there it is. A farewell to Quibi. It's Quibi!
Squibby!
And now we never have to talk about it again.
Hopefully. Alright, well, with all of that out of the way, let's get to our main event this evening. We watched a show, and now we're going to talk about it. This week we watched...
Oh, is that so, Swanson?
That's right, we're about to discuss it right now.
Alright.
We talked about,
Okay.
this week, we're talking about The Queen's Gambit, which is a fictional story that follows the... It says it right in the synopsis that it's a fictional story.
This didn't happen. We made it up. It's an urban legend.
Queen's Gambit
Have
is
you
a...
ever gone mountain biking?
Queen's Gambit is a fictional story that follows the life of an orphan chess prodigy named Beth Harmon, from the age of 8 to 22 during her quest to become the world's greatest chess player, while struggling with both emotional issues and drug and alcohol dependency.
So it's not a true story, is what you're telling me.
Not a true story. Queen's Gambit based off of an 1983 novel. It's an older novel.
Yes. That posited what if women could play board games?
That's right, yeah. And we're here to talk about it right now. It's time. Let's do it. Queen's Gambit. So, right off the bat...
So, did Queen's Gambit place you in check?
Oh.
Or is it stalemate?
Interesting. Well, this show is a little hard for me because I think for the first time ever, I was not completely paying attention to this. Some current events were sort of playing a role in my ability to focus on this show, and much of anything in the last 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, Swanson, that has never happened to me, especially on this show where I'm very careful to watch everything in great detail every time without fail. Especially that show with the guy with the robot hand. I watched all of that completely.
True. Yeah.
Paying attention.
Keo, you you watch every show, sort of like Trump voters watch people counting at the election offices, right?
Yeah, I'm watching, making sure they're not sneaking some extra ballots in.
Yeah, you're just watching everything very closely.
And of course, I explained that I was in a very different from normal mental state.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm very careful to be very suspicious of ordinary things happening, like people arriving with the ballots. I'm like, why is that guy over there with ballots? What's he doing? Why is he here at the ballot counting place with ballots? Isn't that a bit strange?
I should harass him. So yes, the first half of this episode is kind of a blur for me, so it'll make it seem a little incongruous with me starting to describe things more in the second half of this episode, but basically we get introduced to the fully grown version of our protagonist, Beth Harmon, as she wakes up in a tub and
yes,
realizes that she's almost late for her chess match. It's pretty...
Yeah, it's sort of like a run, Lola, run situation.
Yes.
Where she has to run.
That's right. It's sort of a run, Lola, run situation where she runs, like Lola did twice in that movie, via the title. So yeah, we see her like getting herself together for this, and then she seems not well. Seems like she's been abusing drugs and alcohol.
Oh yes.
But then we show her.
That? Do you think waking up in a bathtub and then immediately taking pills and drinking is a bad thing? You think that's bad?
It sounds bad.
Yeah, it's just my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Stair, maybe you're leading an unhealthy lifestyle.
No, I don't think so. In fact, I'm going to do drugs right now just to prove you wrong.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Oh. Not the drugs I was expecting, but all right.
I'm made in that crack pipe.
Oh. Okay, here you go.
All right.
So
okay,
yeah.
I did not know we had crack here.
It's Denver, baby.
Yeah, what do you think? The mile high means
legal.
all
Capital
highs.
of them.
A rising high lifts all highs.
Tides all boats.
Yeah. So yes, what we learn is that she has dead parents.
Oh yes, this is like a mythical car crash.
Yeah.
Like one car just on telescoping, the other car underneath it.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, she has no scratches on her. She must be a real prodigy.
Or she's a Kryptonian.
It's possible. Do you think that's the big reveal?
Or she's Bruce... I think she's like Bruce Willis from Unbreakable.
Oh, yeah. It's part of the Shyamalan universe.
We established that she has chess powers, so why not also invincibility?
Imagine a new M. Night Shyamalan movie where it's a lady with chess powers and she just fights the guy from Split.
No, she has to play against all the personalities.
Yeah, it's a simultaneous...
From board to board splitting.
It's a simultaneous with all the personalities. That, you know what? I would watch that movie.
That movie, the personalities like combine at the end and form a really strong guy.
Spoilers, have not seen Split or the Unbreakable movie sequel, so I've seen Unbreakable. Does that count for anything?
It's a good movie.
It's a good one. Yeah,
I guess.
Nah, it's probably one of his best, right?
Yes. So
yes, this child has to go to this orphanage in, I think it's like Washington or something. The setting doesn't really matter.
It's America time.
Yeah, and you can tell that I think it's like the 60s when...
I think it's the 60s in the present, but this flashback is like maybe 20 years prior.
Okay, so yes. Well, no, not 20, because she's like 10 in this, so probably like 10.
Yes, so it's probably like the 50s.
Yeah, but they're giving out just plain-ass drugs to these children to make them subservient.
Yeah, just across the board, just line up for a couple of pills. There you go, kid.
Yeah.
I was very jealous.
So this girl is high as fuck, just sort of roaming around the building. And then one day when she goes to clean out the erasers by clapping them, as you do, she notices that the custodian is playing an interesting game.
Ooh.
What if he was just like there was just like a body down there, and he was just like, "Don't look at that."
Different show, I think.
Pay no attention.
And they spend the whole series not paying attention to it. It's moldering, and by the end, it's a skeleton.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Why would he be keeping it there?
For reasons.
That's a basement. That's where you store things.
Yeah. Reasons that are never elaborated on until the
it.
end when he explains his entire motivation directly to the camera.
So yeah, her seeing this chessboard is like a religious experience.
Yes. She's like, her eyes have been opened, and she's finally seen the light on the other side. Also, she's high, so it probably helps. So she like eventually goes down there once and asks the custodian what's going on. He's like, "Girls do not play chess."
Ooh, casual sexism.
They're allergic to the pieces.
That's right. The female organs cannot handle chess pieces.
Yeah,
You will attract bears.
He says that, but then very quickly acquiesces and lets her play.
Well,
He's bored as fuck.
yeah, I think he at a certain point, it's weird because they're very gradual with him. I do appreciate this part of it, which is that they don't have him immediately be like, "Okay, now I will teach you how to play chess." He's very slow to her letting her actually play with him and teach her anything, because he's not like sure if she actually knows anything or not. And then she starts learning stuff through osmosis, just watching him play and stuff. And this is when the show starts to get real cool with its visuals. Which is that?
Oh yes, the fucking chess pieces on the ceiling.
Yeah, that shit's cool.
I really want what she's having.
This show for me is a tale of two parts, which also might be painted by the fact that results stopped coming in halfway through me watching this. So I was able to focus a little bit more on this. But also the show gets like real cool about halfway through in terms of like once it starts picking up with the chess stuff.
Yes, once it becomes a sports anime.
Yeah, pretty much. Where she's like where she's getting high as shit, and she's looking at chess pieces on top of the roof. It becomes a pretty cool show for me.
Once she starts winning, you're like, yeah, I like that's cool.
Yeah, like once she starts popping pills and going to high school and just beating all of the kids at chess.
Oh yes, these men are humiliated.
Yes. But yeah, so we get this, it's not even really a montage so much as like, I also appreciate that it's not a montage really, but we just see her gradual, growth as she's being taught. And Todd is doing a lot of heavy lifting for what this guy does to teach her at all, which is that he sort of just lets her play and then he's like, "No, you did wrong. That was wrong."
That is how teaching works.
You should do this.
You lost. You're supposed to forfeit.
Yeah, like he doesn't.
Yeah, we only get like 40 minutes in when he actually gives her the book of chess maneuvers.
Right, which is when she becomes fully powered.
Her third eye is open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to add in here, this was a Marvel Netflix show that would have happened in episode 8.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have happened.
That would be when she starts dressing up as a chess piece.
Yeah. I am chess piece.
I'm Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit would be a good name for a superhero.
True.
So.
Oh yeah, it would have to be someone who can like see the future or something.
Yeah. You've been running the Gambit before you even realized. So yeah, she improves pretty quickly on this and starts beating him at chess. And you can tell that, like, I don't know who the actor is that's playing this custodian, but he does a pretty good job here of, like, showcasing that he's both pissed off and kind of proud.
Yeah, he's, like, proudly salty.
Yeah.
Finally, I can die.
Yeah, he's like, you've completed. Press the queen piece into my chest. You've completed your assignment.
He just starts, just like glowing lines appear, splitting him in half.
Yeah.
His body just opens up.
So eventually he brings along this high school teacher who I guess is like the closest thing to a like chess whiz that he knows. And he's like, get a load of this girl. And he's like, I'm very impressed. We want to take her to the high school, have her face off against my high school kids and see how she does. And
she's like, oh, I'll play a couple of guys. There's like, no, all.
Yeah, like they're all set up simultaneously, and he's like, you have to make these moves. I love that he doesn't actually explain to her until she's there doing it what a simultaneous is.
So this is like Ip Man, when Ip Man fights the 10 Japanese black belts.
That's right. And
simultaneously.
Does he like...
Except instead of the Japanese and Chinese, it's gender.
Yeah. Yeah, all of these like high school boys show up like ready to throw down. Like one of them just like chucks their like backpack on the floor and is like, I'm ready for chess.
I can't believe a woman is invading our hobby.
And one who's also probably like 12.
So yeah, this is very topical. We get like men being nerds being mad about women invading their spaces, and people who are good at competitive children's games also being pedophiles.
It's true. Yeah.
Being obsessed with 12-year-olds.
Also, we don't have any nerd watching this couldn't be mad because we do see her training.
We see her playing chess under the waterfall.
It's true.
And she's not a Mary Sue because Mary Sue was already in this show and she got adopted.
That's true. There was there was a girl who got adopted whose name was Mary Sue.
Yeah, it's Mary Sue. She's Knuckles' cousin or something.
That's right. She's going to live with him now. There was also a bit here where she, before she starts learning from him, where she called the janitor a cocksucker. That was funny. And then she also had to figure out what cocksucking was. Which, alright, sure.
There is the character of the older orphan, who's sort of like the mentor, but sort of kind of a chaotic figure. Kind of sort of like the Joker.
Yeah, mainly because she's giving her pills.
Yeah, she's not taking her tranquilizers and then giving them to her.
Yeah, so she's like taking
like a true friend.
She's taking a double dose.
They were sharing them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought she just taught her how to hold on to hers.
Oh, maybe. I thought they were sharing them though, because she comes up to her later when they discontinue the tranquilizers and give a more a different drug, and that she says that she doesn't have any. So I figured it was like they're sharing them sort of deal. But maybe you're right, Kieran. Because again, I was only half paying attention for half of this.
Yeah.
So, they do this bit here where she beats all of them handily, and then she's like recounting it later, and she's like, "Listen, they were so bad. I didn't even realize how bad they were. They were making obvious mistakes, and I was beating them." It's like the moment where in a sports anime where the protagonist realizes they're good at sport.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we get this. This last scene is perhaps the most wild of the episode for me, which is that with the tranquilizers now forbidden, she notices that they are still in the room where they keep all the medicine and stuff. So all of the other girls are watching this this movie. I don't know what the movie is, but it's this guy talking about like these people, they're ascending, they're reaching godhood. And
I think it's like Romans executing Christians.
Yeah, something like that. And she's like, as she's breaking into the medicine room and taking like the entire jar of pills. It's pretty great. And then it ends with like this big orchestral swing as she's standing on the ladder the chair that she used to get in there, woozy, and then just falls over as everything shatters. It's pretty great. It's pretty fun in terms of ending. I feel like we did like the speed run of that because we were half paying attention. But if there are any details that I'm missing that you want to talk about, go ahead.
No.
One detail I kind of want to mention is that the scoring, like the soundtrack for this show, was, I don't know, kind of made it more boring for me, I guess.
It is pretty sparse, I'll be honest. Until that final scene, I didn't really notice the score at all.
It was just kind of like wistful piano music playing. Kind of like sleepy time music almost.
Yeah, we need Harry Gregson Williamson to come in and be like, pump, pump, pump.
Yeah.
Vote.
But yes, they, there was a bit here where, the high school teacher gives her a present and it's a doll, and then she throws it away because she hates dolls.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, if it was a chess piece, that'd be a different thing. Just gave her like a giant chess piece.
I would love a plushie like that.
Yeah.
Of like a rook or a bishop.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd put that on my bed.
I would put it on my bed and I would stare at it and I'd be like, you're a good pal. And I would talk to it like it's a friend of mine. So yes, we did really speed run through that, but I'll give my final thoughts. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seems it goes.
It goes.
Once you get to that second half, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a little slow on establishing her and everything going on there, but yeah, once it got into that second half there, and again, it might just be because I was focused on some other pertinent events.
9/11-2.
That's right.
The second part was better for sure.
But yeah, once it got into that second part pretty much redeems it for me. I think I'm gonna give it a light tune in.
I'm going to give it tune in because this is a mini-series. And I've already seen 1/7 of it.
That's true.
Watching this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a tune in.
Wow.
I respect it for just having an ending.
Look,
even if the ending is bad.
True.
I just want to know what Nate Silver thinks of this show.
Oh, yeah. Do you think, is Nate Silver a big chess fan?
I mean, he's a nerd, so there's a good chance he likes chess, right?
Yeah, there is.
I think he's consistently predicting she'll lose, and then being very upset.
She has a 1 in 100% chance of winning right now. Oh shit, she won.
We in the bits, it's like to call that 1%.
I've done the projections 60,000 times, and she only wins 10 of those times.
Think of it this way: if I have 100 jelly beans in a jar,
oh god,
and my cartoon fox picks one at random,
that fucking fox.
Think about it. She has about as much chance of winning as you rolling a 1 on a 10-sided die, or of it raining in L.A.
And yes, it does rain.
So yes, that's a tune in for Queen's Gambit. It looks like Rotten Tomatoes was correct. And that'll about do it for this week's episode of the show. We'll be back next week with more TV goodness. Until then, keep watching. Bye.
Bye.
It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Denver Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster has collected 100,000 illegally harvested ballots in the state of Colorado?
Say hello to your new state senator.